Hello, I'm Rifqi and I'm going to tell you about someone's story, but first let's change to the
Woo!
Hello, a very active, cheerful, and very confident 19 years old boy. It's me, Audit. People know me as a person who is very confident when dealing with people, speaking in public, performing on stage, singing with all my heart, and even dancing energetically are routines that I enjoy. Listening to songs is also one of my favorite things, so I listen to music a lot every day. When studying, exercising, and even often falling asleep. But anyway, I'm not going to talk much about my hobby, but the song is one of the important factors in the story that I bring today. A lot of people don't know about how many boulders that I had to break and go through to become this very confident person. Today's story is myself is my confidence. When I was 5 years old, I was a very super active child. I couldn't stop myself from moving here and there just for 5 minutes. Little me was also fun while listening to music. So every time a song was played, it was certain that I would immediately approach the source of the sound and sing the song while dancing it happily, even though I didn't know whether the lyrics were right or wrong, but I kept on singing it. 6 years old, I graduated from my kindergarten school. And I was chosen to be the host of my farewell school party at the time because people already knew me as a very confident person. I remember very well saying something to my mother. Mom, I will grow up as a great speaker who's very loved by people. My mother replied lovingly, of course, my son. I will always do whatever is your favorite. Just a bit of information for y'all. My mother is my #1 biggest fan. So, she's such a supportive mom. Let's jump into the story that became a bittersweet in my journey to be someone very confident like this. It was in my middle school period, so in my opinion, my middle school life was like a whipping period that made me mentally tough and still person in the face of scorn and people's perceptions of me. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention at the beginning that I am a boy who is a very dominant feminine character naturally. So let me tell you the reasons of this. My mother was pregnant me. She really wanted a daughter, just like the basic reasons, right? So before you think this because my unhealthy friendship environment, no, this has been my nature since childhood. Moreover, my family already know who the real I am. So the whip I'm in here is not from my original of my family, but this incident really got stuck in my head until I remember when it was, where it happened, and of course, who did it to me? You already know. Let's build a team. This is the chronology. At that time, I was in a grade junior high school student, and I was recommended by my teacher to represent my school for speech competitions. I was very excited to face these competitions, and this can be seen in my seriousness to practice without knowing the time. From morning to night, the types of the speech that I wrote myself never left my hand. So on, in giving speech, we must be able to give a body style, so I practiced it. My teacher, Mr. Dewey, who is also my speech coach at school, already knows how I deliver my speeches, considering that this is not my first competition. So, I presented my speech in front of him in hope that he could give me some advices or phrases. And he said, oh, Audie, you are very distinctive in delivering speeches. I'm very proud of you. You have done so many speech competitions and you have won them. I'm sure that this time you could be at the top, said Mr. Dewey at me after seeing the result of my speech practice for about 2 weeks. I was confidently ready to set foot to go to the competitions avenue in one of the senior high school, which were approximately 45 minutes away from my junior high school. So it was the day of the competitions. I remember very well, right? It was on 26th of August 2016. So after a pretty long driving, we finally arrived there. So after arriving, we needed to do some re-registration so I could get the participant number. The MC of the competitions was giving a speech for all the contestants and paid respect to the 3 judges who were neatly sitting in front of the fairly large stage located in the middle of the school field. In my heart, I was like, okay, all the people will see all the participants perform. So, I have to be able to do my best. My heart was pounding so fast waiting for my order. I would order number 8 out of 25 participants. So, the closer to my number, the faster my heart beats. After a pretty long waiting, my name was called by the MC. Participant 8, make Audit. Let's go to the stage. I took a deep breath, walked slowly to the stage, and started my speech in front of the large crowd. Maybe that's all from my speech. If you found a mistake, just forgive me. Remember my speech, that we need to be ourselves. Thank you. Suddenly, almost the audience is clapped for me, and I saw Mr. Dewitt's proud face from a distance. The two judges gave me a great feedback, while the another one seemed to be crossing the ethical line and criticizing someone and he said, "You're very good at making speeches, and unfortunately, you're too feminine to be a male public speaker, which I don't think it's a great fit." You know, the jury's words seemed to strike me like a lightning very fast. I couldn't control myself and immediately rushed down to the stage. Mr. Yu immediately rushed to me and seemed to know that I wanted to cry. Audie, you did your best. You did your best. I was just silent at the time, and without knowing, the tears flowing down from my cheeks. All the participants had presented their speeches, and it was the time to announce the winners. I wasn't too excited to attend. It felt like I really wanted to leave quickly. I felt ashamed and unworthy of what the jury said earlier to me. The MC announced the winner. Actually, I got the third place, but I showed no pride in myself. Even I really can't give a big smile when the group photo sessions of the winner together. Well, everyone looked happy, and of course, the heartless jury gave a really big smile on his face without any guilty feelings. Since that incident, I became a little bit introverted. Every time my school recommended me for speech event, I would immediately turn it down for various reasons. That incident really made me losing myself for real. For some reasons too. Without realizing my ambitions before this incident, and I forgot my favorite thing in childhood, namely listening to songs. So one day, I went in an empty classroom and searched for the songs and hoped that they would leave my mood. So while scrolling Spotify, I stopped when I saw a song called Change Your Life by Lyrics. I hadn't heard before about this group or this song. So I randomly chose it and played it. While listening to that song, I was stunned by the lyrics in the song saying, "You're not the only one, so let them criticize. You're untouchable, you realize. No." Listening to those lyrics deeply made me realize that all this time I had buried myself. I killed me and turned into someone else just because one person slapped me with unspoken sentence. While listening to that song, suddenly Mr. Dewey entered the room. Maybe this could be because the song that I play is quite loud, so he sat next to me and said, "Audie, I know you were very devastated by that incident a few months ago, but you can't go on like this. Look at yourself. Remember, we won't be able to close people's mouth one by one. We just need to cover our ears, close it, and focus on your dreams. Remember too, the more colorful person in front of you is, it'll be darker as well as the shadow behind it." The song that I heard and the advice given by Mr. Dewey was really made me rise to this day and form of more resilient mentality. And of course, I am still little Audie that I used to be, with some improvements now. And I'm still a loyal fan of a girl group that really woke me up from the fakeness and turned me back into my extraordinary versions, Little Mix. What do you get from the story? Yeah, you don't have to be someone else just because you want to satisfy someone else. Bye-bye.